Hello and welcome to episode 2 of my BalatNO fan project, which I'm calling BalatNO. Between episode 1 and episode 2, I added in these logic statements just to simplify the code for the straight and full house checks, and a little bit of debug just so I can make sure each function is actually being called without having to do the actual direct math. And I've done a lot of bug fixing. There's still plenty of bugs in here. That's going to be a theme of this series, but I definitely cut out 4 or 5 big things that just ruin the actual functionality of the code. And in today's episode, I have a couple minor things. I need to add in the fact that aces can count as low or high in straights, which that's one if statement pretty much. And one of the bigger things is that I need to add in 4, 3, 2, and 1 card hands, which I added in here. There's a check for 5 card hands, and then if it's not 5 cards, it'll check 4. That's the main thing I need to do today, that'll be pretty quick. And then if I get this open, planning document, which is everything I've done so far, that, and then I need to add in playing animations. That kind of ties into this, where I select the card and then it animates up to the slots when I click score. And then score on screen display and actual hand limit sizing and positioning on the screen so they don't just go off the side or go off the other side. That's the main brunt of today's episode. I'm not sure if I'll have time to get to everything today, but this is the priority. So here we go. Okay. I have now gone through and put in all of the hands where if you only play less than 5 cards, everything for that is covered. Now that I've done that, I have to go through and do all of the 5 card hands that aren't actual scoring hands. So currently I have everything that is 4, 3, 2, and 1. You only played that many cards, but now I need to add in nested hands, I guess is what they're called. So all these same things pretty much, just if you play 5 cards, it needs to make sure that none of these are true, and then it can check for 4 card hands, and 3 card hands, and 2 card hands, and 1 card hands within the 5 cards that you played. So I'm going to go do that. Okay, while I'm doing this time lapse, which will be running in the background, I would like to just say a couple things in relation to my first episode. First of all, thank you so much to everybody. 231 views as of this recording, which is kind of insane. Did not expect it. Realistically, that's not a lot, but that's better than I was expecting. Thank you to Raw123R5, and I can only assume this is a positive comment. Killer Stash, which I'll have up screen right here. I totally slipped my mind to actually show what the project is, and I'll be doing that at the end of this episode. And thank you to everybody for watching, liking. Yeah, thank you. Okay, lots of progress so far. I've implemented every possible hand as far as I know. And I'm sure if I miss something, it'll come up later during bug fixing. I've made a bunch of new functions, so is 4 of a kind in 5, is 3 of a kind in 5, is 2 pair in 5, and is pair in 5. There's nothing for high card because it's just the else condition. Just the last option, high card in 5. In A sprite here, I've done some, that goes with the rest of this document. Here's the math thinking, like logical thinking for 3 of a kind in 5. So it's the first 3, the second 3, the third 3. Here it is for 2 pair. It's 0, 1, and 2, 3, or 0, 1, and 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here is the logic for 1 pair in 5 cards. I just looped, checking the first one and the second one, and then the second one, third one, fourth one, and fourth one, fifth one. So that's the logic. That's all implemented down here. You scroll over, it's lots of words, kind of a yapper over here, but that's okay. I think one of the later episodes, once the whole thing is more fleshed out and closer to completion, I'm going to go through and optimize everything, just because right now I'm just trying to get everything out there and functional and not buggy. I also added in the ace special condition if a hand ends in an ace. So ace 2, 3, 4, 5, which I mentioned earlier, that's in here. And now, next on my list, this is not in order, but next I think I'm going to fix the hand limit and distribution stuff, as well as the card selection mechanics away from the tutorial I used and closer to BalatNO. And then I'll add in kind of the more, not quality of life, but the more visual things of the animation and the score on screen. And this might be later. It's not very hard to do, but it's just not the highest priority. So yeah, I'm going to work on this. Okay, I think that is everything that I will be doing today has been completed. I have done all of these things. I found out that I'd done the scoring not completely wrong, but not very great. So I had a bug where, not a bug, just a gap in my thinking where every hand played, all of the cards got scored by default, and then the modifiers for the hands got added afterwards. But I realized in hands that have extra cards, like 2 pair, but there's another card, where you play 5, those, obviously you don't want to score every card, you just want to score the 4. So I had to rechange so that whenever you play cards, it calls this function called score all that just, it's down here. It loops through however many cards you played and scores each one. And then it adds the modifiers after. And I'll be adding in the partial hands in the next episode. And on top of that, I have completely reworked how the actual mechanics of the game work. So they're almost exactly like BalatNO without all the polish and like effects and everything that it has. Which that is animation basic. Not a lot there. Score on screen. I added a label that just tells you what your score is without having to see the readout. And this one actually needs to be split. And distribution, that will be in the next episode, but I did implement the hand limit. And proper card selection. And I think that's everything written down here. So I changed it so that, I'll go in here. Previously, you had to click every single time you wanted to draw a card. Now that doesn't do anything. I'm clicking a bunch and nothing's happening. And if you wanted to play cards, you had to drag them, click, and drag the hover spec still here. We had to click and drag them into the slot you wanted, and then click score, which score 0. Down here it says select some cards first. And now, let's say pair of 5s. I click score. Let's do some live problem solving. This is a new thing that I haven't seen before. So dot value is correct. Or plus equals card dot value. I think this is what I was doing before. Card equals slot set index I dot card. We'll go down here. Yep. Slot. Oh, okay. Is that just this? Let's see. Let's see. 4, 4. Just do a pair of 4s. Play that. It's still broken. Okay. I will be back once I get this figured out. Alright. I am back. Turns out the only issue was that I'd forgotten to put a check for if there was actually a card in the slot. And then it was crashing when there was no card. And now we will go through the actual final product for the day, which starts, all the cards are drawn, can't draw any more cards, do a pair of 9s, they select up, you can deselect. You can't drag them around right now, which is, I can add that, just haven't done that yet because I redid the whole input system, like maybe 80%, but the last 20% is what's going to make it more seamless, like the actual BalatNO-esque movement style. And then we click score, it goes up here, and then it goes away. The waiting here for a second is just the stand-in for whenever I add the animation for scoring, where it hits each card and then it goes. And then it redraws down here. That's basically everything done today. Nothing happens when you click no score. Yeah. The next episode, we'll have some planning in here. Episode 3, we need to finish everything up here, and then add this card button that just gets rid of whatever cards are selected. Pretty soon I'm going to have to start adding in like the actual gameplay, but I think I'll add in the framework for the jokers. I think that might be, let's see, joker framework, and I think I'll add in, all the baseline stuff like the additions, deals, vouchers, enhancements, and tags, I think. Not adding in the actual all of them because there's like 150 jokers, but just putting in the ability for me to add in more as I go. Just the ability to add in the ones that I need later to the framework, like my, I guess not tile set, but sprite sheet system that I had, deck sheet manager, where I can go in and I only need the base sheet and I can edit something, say an A sprite, and re-import it, and it'll automatically make its own card file. So probably add that in. I'll do a similar system for jokers, where I'll probably reuse the code as adding in jokers. But that'll be more for simplicity when I want to add one, not necessarily changing the textures. But yeah, I think that's everything for today. See y'all in episode 3, which will probably be out next week, maybe this week. We'll see. Adios.